Hi, my name is Berkeley, and today I'm going to show you how I designed and created an improved cutting board. To start out my design process, I looked at what could be improved on standard cutting boards. The problem I found was that when cutting foods with high water content, such as watermelon, the liquid would either run off the cutting board or overflow into the channel. To improve on this, I made a cutting board with a channel as well as a drainage hole. First, I researched materials and decided on maple, cherry, and walnut, as they are durable and less porous than other woods. I designed this product to be prototyped by utilizing several manufacturing techniques available to me. First, I used a chop saw to cut a straight edge on one side of the wood. Then, I measured off 18 inches, which would be the length of my cutting board, and the 2 or 3 inch widths I wanted the stripes to be. I then cut each piece of wood to 18 inches using the chop saw. For the last step, to get the stripes of wood to the right width, I used a table saw. I cut the cherry and walnut pieces to 2 inches wide and the maple to 3 inches wide. After all the pieces were cut to the right size, I glued them together using wood glue. In order to get good adhesion, I glued each side and made sure to put enough glue to get full coverage. After gluing, I clamped everything together and waited for the wood glue to cure, which took around 24 hours. To make sure the cutting board dried flat, I added weights to the top to weigh it down. Since the wood planks I purchased weren't exactly the same thickness, I had to use a planer in order to get my cutting board perfectly flat. After planing, I used a rotary sander and a belt sander to smooth my part and to straighten the edges. In order to create the channel going around the edge of the cutting board, I used a router attached to a table saw. I wanted the channel to be a half inch away from the edges, so I set up multiple stops to achieve this. I used the router on each edge in order to obtain a continuous channel. During the cutting of the channel, the router ended up slightly burning the wood. Because of this, I spent a lot of time hand sanding the channel and even using a Dremel to remove more material. After the cutting board had been completely sanded, I drilled a pilot hole and then the hole to allow juice to drain from the cutting board. I glued on the rubber legs, which allow a pan to be inserted under the board. Lastly, I finished it with a blend of beeswax and mineral oil to help waterproof and protect the board.